Okay.
Take two.
Yes, there are times in life where you have to do take two. I mean, and it's okay.
Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday. We did it. We tried to record this and it didn't work. And praise God that Anthony was here to say, okay, I can't hear you. I've tried a couple devices, can't hear you. So
AirPods were dead.
AirPods were dead. So we like the AirPods because it allows us to not have that background noise. So let's start again. So good morning and welcome to 9 Straight Up. We are here and we are ready to rock this day.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Happy Friday.
Yeah. So I titled this, are you trying to be a part of the cool club? Because I think oftentimes in
Can
life,
you say that again, please?
the cool club.
Okay.
It's hard to say fast, right? But oftentimes we try to get into these different clubs where maybe we shouldn't even put our toe in. We shouldn't even go toe dipping. We shouldn't even be near it.
Because you want to be part of it, but you know it's not right for you. You're still going to toe dip. You're going to get sucked in.
Yeah, but I guess you learn a lesson.
Right.
So this week, if you've watched any of my stories, you may have seen that our little dog Durango was going through some issues with his eye. Now, we took him to one vet and she looked at the eye and she said something's wrong. And luckily John had noticed that it just didn't look right. I kept thinking he was just getting older. He's 11. But he noticed that, so I took him to the vet. Our holistic vet said something's wrong, doesn't look right, immediately sent us to an eye specialist. The eye specialist said the eye looks fine, something's behind it. Then we went to the third specialist, all within a quick period of time. They did a CT scan and he had a tumor attached to the back of his eye.
About the size of about the size of his eye.
Yes, so imagine in this cavity having the eye and then a tumor attached to the eye. So what happened was he ended up having to have that eye removed. The blessing of it is, and I know it's oftentimes so hard to see, and when we first heard it, we were just heartbroken. But the blessing of it was that cancer could have spread his entire body. Like the surgeon called yesterday, the vet called yesterday, they were all so concerned, and they said, this is the luckiest form, this is the best form, because they were able to get it out in one swoop.
Right. All encapsulated. So now Durango's walking around with no left eye, but he is still spry, energetic, jumping around, running through the yard. So life is good.
Right. So it's funny when you think of it, so many things in life, we have something in a sense that's like a dead limb on a tree or something and needs to be cut out, or it's toxic or it's cancerous and it needs to be cut out. We all have that in life, but so oftentimes it's so painful to cut out. We feel like perhaps it might be, our life might not be as good.
Thank you, Anthony.
What did you say?
He said that's better. And good morning,
Yay!
Adrian.
Yes.
Nice to see you jump on.
So good morning. So thank you so much, Anthony, for letting us know. But so Durango had that, and it was a very painful thing to cut out in life, that thing. But I mean, he's happy, he's free, he's, now he's cancer free.
Right.
So it's all good. But after all this, the lesson that we learned from this is, what do we need to cut out in life? What are we forcing to be in this cool kids club in a sense? And instead not realizing that we need to cut some things out and, stay on the path that God has put before us.
Yeah. I mean, there's things that we all do that, we could remove so we can just have a better life. You can have more time to do things that are going to be more beneficial to us.
Right. So what has happened to you in life, and how have you allowed yourself to move on and learn from it? So your talents, I always say your talents are beyond measure. We don't even realize how talented we are. I think so many times we allow the world to tell us, oh, you're good at this, you're good at that. And then we watch the super talented people and think, I can't even begin to get near that.
Here comes the Olympics. Watch those super talented people.
Yeah. So we've all been through a lot in life. We've all had things pruned off and we've all had things given to us. But how have we learned to use that? And
you got to remember to remove the lies that people have put into your brain over the years and just move past that and grow. Get above it all.
I like to always think of a tree. If a dead branch is just there, the tree is still trying to send nutrients to it. But if you cut it off, the tree is allowed to send those nutrients to the live parts.
Grow elsewhere.
Right. But so often that part, and it equates to life. What are the things that we are pouring our time into that we shouldn't be? What are those dead limbs in life that we need to cut off? And I know it's painful. I know I had a couple people in my life I had to cut off because of the negativity in my life.
Mm-hmm.
The negativity that they would bring. You'd come into this room all excited about the day, and then, you know, the weight of it that brings you down. So who do you have to cut off? So today, as you sit here or stand here in front of you, what do you have? What powers do you have in life? What do you do with the talents you've been awarded? And are you hiding the talents for fear of not being good enough?
Right.
So cut off the crap. Where are you hearing that you're not good enough? You're not, you know, able to do something.
Yeah, some of it could be happening now. Someone that may be telling you that. Could be a coworker, could be a family member, or it could be something that you're telling yourself that because you believe something that somebody told you in the past.
Mm-hmm. And then what have you learned from the challenges in life? And as we watch, like we started with Durango with the one eye, he's learning to navigate with that other eye. And it's interesting how all the other senses step up in a sense and get
Right.
stronger to allow him to, you know, go forward in life instead of just taking the eye out and then not being able to move forward. Everything else is stepping up. So, as I always say, you and I are here for a purpose. What are the things that you are cutting off, and what are the things, where are you stepping up in life and allowing yourself to get stronger? So, I love this quote. God says, "You were rejected. I hid your value from them because you were not assigned, they were not assigned to your destiny." So, those things that, the people, the things in life that had to be cut off, in a sense, you may have felt rejected from certain areas of life, yet God has said they aren't part of your destiny. They're not part of your life. They're not part of your purpose. I cut them off. And as painful as it is,
Because you think you want to be part of the cool group,
yes.
and it turns out it's not.
Yes, I hope I'm making sense with this. But think of high school, even the show The Mean Girls. I can't think of the girl's name who was the star. But she tried so hard to be part of that, and she conformed to what they were doing and all that, only to realize that did not serve her. That did not serve, and she was just this homeschool girl who tried to get in with the popular girls who...
Lindsay Lohan?
Yes, who were on the wrong track. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but it's a great comparison. The other thing that I like is...
Well, I gave you the actress, so I think I have seen it.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mom.
Yeah, so the other thing is Esther, the book of Esther, 4:13 and 14, for such a time as this. Don't think for a moment that because you're in the palace, and so oftentimes we are in a palace, we're way above things. Just don't think for a moment because you are in a palace, you will escape with all the other Jews when all the other Jews are killed. If you keep quiet at a time like this, deliverance and relief for the Jews will arise. For some other place, but you and your relatives will die. Who knows if perhaps you were made queen for such a time as this? That to me is huge because
So
it's
that's
telling you.
Esther 4:13, 4:14.
Right, and he's saying, her uncle Mordecai is saying, you were created for this. Now she could be with the cool kids in the palace and everyone else is, you know, being killed, or she could step up for a time such as this.
Right. Become a leader.
Mm-hmm. So what areas of your life are you being pushed to step up to? And what areas of your life do you need to cut off and get rid of in life? Good morning, Cece. And then what areas of your life do you need to release? I mean, there's so many things that we need to cut off, we need to release. So have you ever pruned a tree? Go back to that analogy. If you've pruned a tree and you've seen where the new growth is coming, and that tree is still holding on to all the dead branches, trying to feed that as well, it struggles. But once you cut off those dead branches, you can just watch it flourish.
Right.
It's
Or
so
like in
exciting.
our family room outside our window, we have, Ann calls it a Jack and the Beanstalk tree.
It's such a cool tree, yes.
But as I trim it, it actually grows two more branches.
2 heads, yeah.
So,
And it's so funny because I don't want to trim it because it's such a neat tree. But when, you know, if we're patient, you can watch it. And that's like us. When we trim away the things that we don't need in life, we allow ourselves to do what that tree and have 2 heads, 3 heads.
and they have new paths.
Yes, so it's a perfect analogy. I'll have to take a picture of that and post it and say, see? But,
Before or after I trim it.
oh, please, that breaks my heart when you trim it, but we have to do it. So you and I are like that. Take a look and determine what areas of your life are not serving you and what areas are, and start to prune them. Today, this is my challenge for you today. Today, write down all the things you do, all your time, and do it in like half hour or 15-minute intervals. Get detailed about it. This is what I did. This is what I did. Write it all down and figure out how you spend your day and what resources you are using, because time is such a precious resource. So at the end of the day, look at the...
And put a big gold star next to you watching this, because this is very good.
This is true. I love it. Highlight it. So at the end of the day, look at that list and determine what is getting you closer to those goals, to using your purpose, and what is simply a waste of time.
Right.
So remove those time wasters. Then you have to start proving. Instagram? Yeah. Well, that could be good on Instagram. You have to figure out how you do it. So bring in all the items that allow you to grow. Just like the tree, remove the ones that aren't. And then I love this analogy, and it's funny that we had dinner with Cece and her family last night, and we talked about McDonald's, but imagine, and I'm going to say a quarter pounder because Abuela loves Big Macs, so I don't want to I don't want to talk about that. But imagine eating a quarter pounder versus a piece of, say, roasted chicken with grilled asparagus and squash. It's all good for you. What gives you more? What feeds into you? Again, what about the tree?
Nutrients and vitamins.
Yes, compare it to the tree again. Are we giving it fertilizer, or are we giving it, antifreeze? What are we putting into that tree? So you have a choice. How are you feeding yourself? I mean, health-wise, mind-wise, all that. Are you feeding the dead limbs, or are you feeding, nutrients into your body? So just like Durango had the eye removed, I too had to remove a bunch of stuff. It's painful. I know you removed a bunch of stuff, and doing it the 75 hard has really allowed us to see what needs to be removed and what needs to be
added in.
Yes, and it's funny.
New ingredients.
Yeah, and it's funny how the pushback we're getting, that people are pushing back saying, oh, don't do that. Wait till later. Don't do that. No, we're focused. Mental toughness here. So I like to, what?
I was just thinking last night at 11:30.
Yeah, that hurt, but you did it. So one of the things I like to do every day is write in the I Am Journal. If you don't know that, this is the I Am Journal I put together. But this keeps me on track. It talks about your gratitude, your personal development, your goals, all that. And it allows you to get up in the morning, write in there, and stay focused.
So you wrote that. Where do you get that?
You get it on Amazon, of course, the I Am Journal by Ann Carey. But that keeps me focused and keeps me on target and allows me to take those dead limbs and cut them off for the day, because I have to finish each one. The other thing is the AIP 28X Clean, which is the diet I'm following.
AIP 28X Clean. Okay.
Yes, it's a clean eating diet, and it takes out all the inflammatory foods and allows me to eat only the ones that feed me. Now, this is just a temporary thing, and then you're allowed to bring in things later. But
and this is something you have developed over the years from just learning from past experiences.
Yes, and it's an autoimmune protocol paleo plan, and it allows you to really step forward and eat the things that feed your body.
And with that, I mean, you can, because if you have an autoimmune deficiency or an issue, this definitely helps. But you can just eat this way regardless. You don't need to have an autoimmune to follow this.
Yeah, that's what the clean's for.
It's basically clean eating, and that's pretty much what I try to follow. Silence.
Try. We don't want try in this. 100%.
I do.
100%. But that's what the clean's for. The clean is for clean eating.
Right.
So that's why I don't want people to look at it and think, oh, it's autoimmune. I don't have an autoimmune. But what if instead you decide to eat really clean?
Get rid of inflammatory markers in your body.
And inflammatory foods in your life. So, and it's a temporary thing. It's 28 days. You have a week to prep, 28 days of the plan. And it's just my plan that I followed. And then I like to say at the end, I take off the training wheels and let you fly.
And where do you find that?
That's on Living AIP Paleo. And that's going to our next classes.
What's that mean? Is that Facebook?
That's
I don't
Facebook. Know. John doesn't have Facebook, but that's on Facebook. But DM me if you're interested in that plan. But that has worked for me for years, and I really like that. But again, follow the plan you're thinking. Cut out the stuff that doesn't work for you, and allow yourself to grow. I like to say, clear the weight. Release the weight that isn't serving you. So. The other thing is what's happening in your life is connected to the massive plan by God. Today, leave your comfort zone. So what is your comfort zone? Sit on the couch. I always like to think of my comfort zone as sitting on the couch with a book and just reading and absorbing, but sometimes we have to get out of that comfort zone.
Or a cup of tea and a
And a
blanket.
cup of tea, yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay, so today, leave your comfort zone. Believe in your gifts. Make an impact one way or another. Own your vision for life. And if you don't know what your vision is, if you need help, reach out to me. But what is the life you want to live 10 years from now? Picture yourself 10 years from now, just 1 decade away. What do you want it to look like?
Goes quick.
It does.
And Adrian, I don't know if you're still on, but thinking, what, back 7th, 8th grade, we shared a class together. How long ago was that?
Yeah, that's
And
not
think how
tough.
quick that went.
Yeah, exactly. And then embrace the person you were meant to be rather than trying to turn into that person to join the cool kids club. So you were created for such a time as this. So what is that thing that you're supposed to do? What is that vision you're supposed to
Figure it out
live?
and go after
Yes. And again, we look at little Durango who had something major taken out. We all have that strength to adapt and to live and to be stronger when we prune ourselves. So have an amazing day, everyone, and I can't wait to hear what you're doing to prune your life and move forward. Yes?
it. Have an amazing weekend, and for all the fathers
Yes.
around, happy Father's Day.
Yes. Have a good one.